Welcome back to our Vitality Conversation promo. Yes, when I say promo means we're going to give you a little snapshot of our next Vitality Conversation. I have with me today Rianna Sanchez.
Whoa!
Rianna.
Never been called that one.
I know. Can you believe it? It
Yes.
has been a while since you have been with us. You spoke at one of our first
in January.
In January. It has been an exciting year since then. What has all
Yes.
transpired in the last year?
A lot. I've gotten married and graduated now with my master's in clinical nutrition, whereas before, in January, I was still planning a wedding and still in the very thick of school. So it's
Yes.
kind of nice. It's relieving that now I'm on the other side and I'm like, oh, I'm done with all of those things. Like now I'm just married and graduated.
Well, it's neat because I'm sure that she has acquired a lot of information to
Yes.
be able to share with us on our holistic journey. And as you know, as a church, we really try to look at the overall scope of the church body and as a family, because we want you healthy both mentally, physically, spiritually, just relationally. I mean, all of that comes together as we steward this temple that God has given us. And as, we gain more knowledge of what health does look like. And as we have discussed before, like what is healthy eating? There's so many different parameters out there of what that looks like. Well, today what we're focusing on is just giving you a little snapshot of what's coming up for our next Vitality Conversation, which is going to be held Sunday, November the 5th
Yes.
at 4 o'clock here at our Longwood campus. Well, we were talking about getting ready for the holidays.
Yes. It's
But
coming up.
I know, I wanted to kind of expand on that though, because, we talk about eating healthy for the holidays. What does that look like?
Yes.
I want to talk about that. And I think when I think about eating for the holidays, I think sometimes we eat out of indulgence, or we eat out of tradition,
Or ease.
or we eat out of ease, or people have new things at their houses, things for us to try, and we're just open game to whatever. Well, I want to see if you can just kind of give me a little highlight of maybe a conversation of how to go into this time of year and season, and maybe what Thanksgiving could look like, what Christmas could look like for our families.
Well, I would say that when I first started eating clean, I was very intimidated when it came to holidays or to eating, because I felt like I was losing everything I grew up eating and everything that I thought I liked eating, of like, no, and I just had like an emotional attachment to the food I ate, where
Yes.
if I showed up to somewhere and there was something that I knew I shouldn't eat because it would make my body feel bad or hurt my body, I would have like this FOMO, like a fear of missing out, of if I don't eat this with everybody else, I'm not like taking part or like included in the
Yes.
celebration. So it made me feel so isolated, and out of that fear of isolation, I would just eat it anyways. And then I would realize a little bit later that I was like, well, one, that was quick, kind of passed so fast. Two, it wasn't as good as I like hyped it up in my head to be. Like I really made it a big deal that I had to have it, and then I ate it and was like, well, it's gone now. And then I would feel horrible afterwards. My health would suffer for longer than the duration of the party, because
Yes.
then I was like, why did I do that? Now I'm hurting days after, or I'm feeling the repercussions of it days after for something that was so momentary. But that was something that helped me, I guess, learning that it was a fear instead. Like there wasn't a real justification to it. It truly was like eating out of ease, eating out of cravings and indulgence.
Yes.
It all came down to like a lack of self-control, of thinking that if I don't have this, then I'm missing out, or I'm not gonna feel as included in the holidays or something. And I started to realize, like, is that really a good reason to harm my body or to do something that I know is probably not the best for me?
Right.
And then I started to approach holidays. This was like a 5-year journey. I started to approach holidays differently, where I would say like, you know what, I'm not going to eat that. And I would let everybody else eat that. And it was like magic happened, where I was like, I'm still included. And we're all still friends, and I'm still celebrating the holidays, and I feel good. Like, I thought for like so long that I would be missing out, not included, and like that the health repercussions were worth it for me to include myself in that thing. And then I realized, wait, I actually feel really good. I feel so much stronger in my self-control that I said no, and I realized that it was so quick and fleeting. And there's other things I can eat. Like, it's not like I can't eat anything.
Well, and it was kind of neat for our family. Eating clean, of course, if we talk about eating clean, these are like vegetables, clean meats, organic, just a balanced, maybe you hear the word paleo. We'll kind of go through some of these, items later. And if you come to the talk, of course, you'll hear more about that, of what clean eating is.
Yes. So in the talk, I wanted to dispel the myths of like what even is clean eating. Like, what does it mean to eat good during the holidays? Because it seems so nebulous, like so otherworldly. And if you know what that is, then you now are empowered with the knowledge to know how to spot what you should and shouldn't eat. And then we can work on the behavioral aspect of training yourself to ask, why am I craving this? Why would I eat this? What are the consequences of this? And when you have the knowledge to know those things, you start to see that there are choices and consequences. And it gives you the empowerment to be able to choose your choices so you can reap the consequences that you would like.
And it's really neat as you make those switch outs. I know for our family, through our journey as a family of learning how to eat clean, we, our first Thanksgiving after we started eating healthy, we cooked all the things that we normally cook.
I felt
we were all feeling horrible. We weren't used to all the butters and the shortenings and the cheeses and things like that.
Well, not that butter's bad. It was everything else.
But added the sugar.
Yes,
lots
the sugars
and lots
and
of sugar and everything. And we were like, oh my goodness, I never realized that my body had started to learn how to process without these things. And so the next year we found some alternative wonderful meals.
We still eat almost everything we usually do. We just swapped out the ingredients for cleaner ones. And then I was like, I could have done this a long time
ago. Like, we had no idea that there's an alternative to sour cream. There's an alternative, to make maybe a cashew different cheese. Remember that?
Yes, for those who are dairy
macaroni
free.
and cheese. So we were able to do those swap outs, and those are some of the things that we're going to be able to share with you on that journey. That it's not all no. It's just something else. But it will extend who we are, because our goal is to build this temple and to keep it healthy. And to keep it healthy enough to live on mission, because we want to feel strong enough to be able to go and share the gospel, and we want to be able to have that longevity of life, and to be able to control,
to be able to be capable to do what God has called you to do, and not be so sick that you feel like you cannot do it, or feel so poorly that you cannot do it. But also because God calls us to use the fruits of the Spirit, one of which is self-control. And it seems like we forget to use self-control in the area of food. So this is something that I would love to share with you guys, and I'm looking forward to it, of how we can have self-control in a way that honors God and honors our bodies, but still enjoy the holidays in the way that we always love to.
Yes. Well, we would love to see you, of course, for our next Vitality Conversation. And again, it's going to be Sunday, November 5th at 5 o'clock here.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Sorry, we're going to be done by 5.
November 5th at 4.
Yes. And so come on out, join us, invite a friend.
Yes.
If you would like to register for that event for childcare, please go on to our events tab and click on there. Let us know if you have some kiddos come in, but we want to be there for you and your family. Again, thank you for being with us today, and we pray that you have a fantastic week.